It's not pudding.
What's up, fruit and pudding lovers? Your buddy Big Johnny G and 3 of the 20-sided warriors. As you see, we have Ryman.
Howdy.
What's up? A hard day of gaming, huh?
Yeah, good day.
Woo-hoo. Oregon Al. Rocking it out, brother.
Right.
Woo. Ow. And T-Bone.
It's me again.
So this was not mine, but this was your first playthrough of the Judge Dredd Cursed Earth game.
Yes.
That's right.
And we're covering your first initial thoughts on this. So now, if you're not aware of this game, it is based on a game from 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, called The Lost Expedition.
Yeah.
Except for Anthony, we've played that. Ryan is a big fan of that game. So what we wanted to do is we figured we're going to start this first impression video with Ryan discussing the similarities and the differences between Lost Expedition and Cursed Earth.
Yeah, so the two games are very, very similar. With one, probably the biggest glaring difference would be the location cards themselves. Now, both games have the encounter cards that you deal with, in which you have to go through different tasks based on the skills that your adventurers have in Lost Expedition and the judges have in this one. It's based on survival, it's based on diplomacy, and on size skills in this game. Which I don't remember exactly what the skills were in Lost Expedition, but they're very similar.
Like navigation,
navigation's one. I think
survival,
survival's another one. I forget what the third one is.
And I forgot too.
But it's something like that. I think it's like research or something like that. So that plays out very similar. So you play Lost Expedition, then that mechanic will be very familiar to you in this one. You're still dealing with the tokens, and you're still dealing with cards that you can use to apply to other skill checks.
Yeah.
But the location cards were the biggest difference for this, in which it sort of adds that other component because you are moving the two different guys. You're moving your token versus the perp token, trying to get to Mr. Max Normal at the end, and that sort of adds another strategic layer because you're trying to find the skill checks in the cards to move you forward versus the perp forward, and because you want to get to the end before they do.
And they did.
And they
Well,
I wouldn't say that they won. It was more about we lost, which is a difference. So that's a moral victory, I think. But yeah, if you're familiar with Lost Expedition or you play Lost Expedition and you're looking at this, they're very, very similar games. They're both very good.
Now there's an additional way in this game how you can die, and that's because of the radiation.
And that's the other difference: the radiation that ticks away at you. That's another thing that's added on in this one versus Lost Expedition. So those two things do set this one aside. We've played a couple games in the past, not related to this, but that are game's like a reskin of a previous one. So it's like you don't need both. In this, there's enough of a difference between the location cards and the other threat to your health. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, honestly, because you're dealing with two additional factors of the gameplay.
All right, and so you think that it fits naturally into the whole scheme of the thing, thematically,
yes,
as well as the way the rules have already been set up and adding on to them with these new things. You think everything just fits naturally?
It fits very well, yeah. It does work out very, very nice.
So anyone that is familiar with Lost Expedition is just going to be able to fall right into
this and just be able to kind of add on those quick little things because they're not complicated. It's just an extra little bump to give the game that much.
And you just said that you think it's worthy of having both these games.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
So I guess that means you enjoyed it.
I did.
And don't forget, everyone, we are giving away a copy of this this coming Friday. Yeah, because this is going to air in the middle of the week, so in a couple of days from the time of this dropping. And you think this is a good gift?
Yeah. I think it'll be really for anyone looking to expand their game collection. If you're a fan of the Judge Dredd series, if you like Lost Expedition and looking to add on something that's similar that you enjoy, this would be a very nice addition.
All right, Alice, you want to talk about the rules specifically?
Yeah, I enjoyed this. Like like Ryan before, I enjoyed Lost Expedition. I do think it's a game. It's a strategic game of figuring out what the best way forward is, and we were talking about it a little bit. And I personally believe that any chance you have to move forward, get this little running man not in a circle versus the running man in the circle, you should take, unless you're going to lose the game. Because I think had we taken the one card earlier that was a move forward, it was like a negative and a move forward versus 2 health, which is heal any 2 judges, and it was like move the enemy forward. It was something like that. I think had we taken the move forward for us, we would have won the game, because the next card up
was the max normal there.
Was the max normal, which neither of us reached.
We were tied. We
were tied here. So that is I think it's the same for Lost Expeditions too, where there's a bit of a trap that the game sets up for you. Like, oh man, it looks like you have the opportunity to gain more than just moving forward. So that looks like a good thing, but I think it's a trap in that moving forward as quickly as possible is actually always the best possibility, because there's a number of cards that are just 1 negative or more. So any opportunity that you have to move up, there is no card in this deck that is just move up. Every card that has an advance for the player has a negative effect on it as well. So that's, I think, kind of it's something that I don't necessarily like, because it's kind of, it creates if there is this move forward icon on any card, you take it, which is unfortunate. However, I love this game. I love Lost Expedition. It's a really fun game. Thematically, it's really enjoyable. I felt the same way about Lost Expeditions. I feel the same way about this. You feel like you're advancing. You feel the stress. You don't feel the false choice while playing the game. It's something you may feel after the game, or you may not, because I know everyone else here has played it. So I really enjoy this, and this is a game that I could definitely play a number of times. I would be interested to play it a few times more to find out, like, is the game actually solvable? I don't know. Is the game easier with 2 players versus 4 players?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I think it's worth a few more plays to find out exactly what the replayability is. But I love the hell out of this game, and I love Lost Expeditions.
Do you think there's room on shelf for both?
I think it depends on your like of the theme. I think you could take one or the other, because they're similar enough that if you like the Judge Dredd theme, go for it. If you like the Lost Expedition theme, go for it. I do think that Judge Dredd has that radiation that's an extra element. That is the extra challenge that's more interesting. However, there's also the Fountain of Life for expansion for the Lost Expeditions that I have not played. And there are no expansions for Judge Dredd at this point.
Oh, this just came out.
It just came out.
Yeah.
So, I can't really say. I think you could definitely do the Lost Expeditions and its expansion and Judge Dredd. We'll see what Judge Dredd comes out with for expansions.
Yeah,
we'll see how that fits in with it.
I'm waiting for that too.
Yeah.
All right, Anthony, so you were blown away by something specifically that you wanted to mention.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, comic book fan galore. So,
and you're no stranger to 2000 AD Eagle Comics.
Absolutely. I mean, Judge Dredd is a highly underused property to me. I mean, you don't really see a lot of Judge Dredd, stuff out there that, as far as like toys and gaming and everything. So this,
agreed.
I mean, this is fantastic to see it actually come to, to play.
Yeah.
The artwork to me, I'm always gonna love Judge Dredd type of artwork. It's always, growing up in the 70s, you grew up with like stuff like Heavy Metal magazine and everything. It's got that very gritty, dirty, Blade Runner-esque type of world feel to it, where everything is just complete abomination, and it's The landscape, I mean, just the way it looks, like everything is torn up and dusty and cruddy. I loved it.
And they used actual 2080 Judge Dredd artists.
Yeah.
That's what sells this artistically, right?
Have them doing it, I mean, that's perfect. I mean, it's you can't get much closer to a comic book feel than actually having the artists for it do the cards. I mean, you know, it's like if we had a Teen Titans 80s thing, you'd want George Perez's art on this. Well, you're playing Judge Dredd, and you got two of the best artists that are doing this on this. Mm-hmm. So,
too bad Perez just retired.
Yeah, and too bad he just retired. I can fully
let the man rest. He deserves it.
Yeah, he absolutely does. But
yawning on camera, really?
Oh man!
Yawned on camera. Oh, everyone point a finger and mock him.
Shame! Ring a bell! Shame! I'm always the guinea pig at most of these games, but anytime you're going to get me into a comic book property, I'm down to go. And this is one that actually does a great job. I love it.
Yeah.
So, everyone loves this game.
Absolutely.
We lost by half a step.
We did.
Half a step.
We literally lost by a card.
We focus so much. I'll just say a couple of things that these guys may have covered. We focus so hard on keeping guys alive that we, like Alex said, we sacrifice probably the chance of winning because, again, we get so wrapped up in trying to keep everybody up to have more chances.
I believe it was that card. From
That's it.
We took the health
instead
of taking
losing the food for the movement.
That's what did it.
Because losing the food would have given us radiation at that point.
But we would have still been okay, I think.
And that's the interesting choice with this card too, because this gets them closer to ending, but you aren't actually losing anything. The game is potentially over if they move on to the wrong card.
Yeah.
But you aren't losing anything. Here you're doing a 1-for-1 trade.
Now we saw a ton of these cards, and I have to say this is one of the few cards in this entire deck that is not completely awful.
Yeah.
For the judges.
Yeah.
I mean, because all of these cards are planned out to be like, oh, you want this? Well, you'll have to sacrifice that.
And also
you want this? Oh, you'll sacrifice 3 of these.
At the time, I think we still had 1 food token left, so we would have taken a radiation at some point,
right?
In relation to that, but we would have not had to deal with the final card that killed us.
You get so stuck on not wanting to get that radiation because you can't get it off.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to keep food.
And I think we saw 2 or 3 cards that actually added health. There's a lot of cards that are the negative health.
Yeah.
Right.
The reverse of this here.
Yeah.
But there's not many cards that have the positive health. And so there's a lot of cards that are flexible, like, oh, who's going to take the damage?
Right.
And somebody's going to take damage. You cannot, substitute the diplomacy or the survival or the dimensional whatever card.
Side card.
So that was interesting, and we didn't know it the first time because we hadn't played it. So it's interesting to know in hindsight that those positive health signs are super rare.
Yeah, they're completely rare.
So in a way, like, the decision we made wasn't outrageous.
Awful. Right.
It was just like
it was just the one that did us in at the end.
At the end of the day, it happened that we drew the cards that would make the other option there.
It's always going to be the what ifs, right?
Yeah.
Sporting events. What if I didn't kick the ball? What if I didn't put this pitch right? Yeah, hindsight's always 20. Yeah. Well, that's what makes it good. It makes you want to come back and play and see how you.
Yeah, we got, like you said, we got one little icon away from winning. So
half away.
So next time, maybe we'll know. You know what? Just keep moving forward.
This can easily open up to expansion because you can then incorporate the entire Judge Dredd universe. Like there's so many things you can do with this and expand from here. And this just came out. That's great.
Yeah, I agree.
As of the dropping of this video, this either came out this current week.
Yeah, it's been.
I think it's this. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm really interested to see. I'm sure they'll come out with an expansion, so I'm interested to see what the expansion will add to this.
I agree.
Because I know Fountain of Youth added some interesting things to Lost Expedition.
See, and I haven't played Fountain of Youth, so this being my first foray into that, I liked it. I can see myself.
Wait till you play the next game because you can play competitive. One team is the 3 perps.
Oh my!
Yes.
Oh my!
I think we found Anthony's next big thing he want to do. All right, I am really glad I got a chance to get this down to the table with you guys tonight and get a chance to play it. I mean, I loved the solo I played, the solo I videoed, did really great. I loved now finally getting a chance to play cooperative. This game is, I guess in my top 10.
Well,
You know,
you got closer.
top
to this game
15
than
at
last
least.
game.
Oh yeah, I did.
So,
I got much closer.
Got much closer.
But it still only lasted into the second day.
That's it.
Yeah.
We didn't even go back to Dust.
No, I haven't gotten to day 3 in this game yet.
We huffed and puffed our way to the finish line.
Well, this was definitely a lot of fun. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for checking us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you so much for Facebook. And I just said that. It is late, my friends. Thank you so much right here for YouTube. Thank you for liking us. Thank you for commenting on our videos, for subscribing to us, and most of all, thank you for sharing our videos. Because every time you share our videos, it's a way of you telling someone else that you think we're good.
Get those subscriptions in so you can try and win the contest.
Yeah.
Subscribe, send the email to them. Get this game, you're not going to be disappointed.
And not only are you getting the game, remember, this is a double contest, is that the grand prize winner is going to get a copy of the game and the promo cards.
Ow!
And then a second prize winner is going to get promo cards.
So,
Because I'm assuming anyone that's entering this contest, even if they lose, are hoping at the very least to get this game.
Right,
And this may be a little bit more incentive, because these promo cards are going. I said this before in another video, and it's true. Outside of me and the other individuals that are running contests, they're all gone. There's no more promo cards really to be found.
get them now.
So here you go. Here's a good
Put your
opportunity.
chance in. Yeah, exactly.
So that'll be this Friday night. Friday. All right, thank you, everyone. We thank you so much. I'm your buddy, Big Johnny G. With me are the 20-sided Warriors, and we are out of here.